Today we're going to be analyzing South Carolina's Declaration of Secession from 1860 to learn more about, in their own words, the causes of the Civil War. In the document, you'll see the phrase free, sovereign, and independent state, and several variations appear 4 different times in the text. The idea behind this was that when the Declaration of Independence was created, it set up a union of independent states, which the South claims was ratified by the Articles of Confederation after the War for Independence. Their reasoning is that any state can willingly join, and thus any state can willingly leave at any time, often leading to the false narrative that we see today of the Civil War being about states' rights. However, the Articles of Confederation do say that they're creating a perpetual union, and the idea of secession does not exist in the Constitution. This is not a contract or a business deal. A state simply cannot succeed. The next quote states, "But an increasing hostility on the part of the non-slaveholding states to the institution of slavery has led to a disregard of their obligations." What might be these obligations of the northern states that South Carolina was referring to? What they're referring to is the Constitution's 4th article, which requires for the rendition of fugitive slaves. So even if an enslaved person escaped to the north, northern states were required to return them. Note that this was superseded by the 13th Amendment after the Civil War. As part of the Compromise of 1850, California was allowed to join the Union as a free state, but in return, a stronger fugitive slave law was passed. What happened was that many states had lax enforcement of these federal laws, and oftentimes passed their own laws which nullified the acts of Congress or rendered them useless or any attempt to execute them, making it very difficult or nearly impossible for enslaved people to be returned. The final quote states that on the 4th day of March next, this party will take possession of the government. It has announced that the South shall be excluded from the common territory. What this is referring to is that Lincoln was set to take office on March 4th, 1861. While Lincoln had complicated views on slavery, he opposed its expansion into the territories. Previously, territories were split, with one free state joining the Union, and at the same time, one slave state joining the Union. At this time, the United States was growing rapidly under the belief of manifest destiny, how Anthony Higgins, Delaware senator, best described in 1893, it is her manifest destiny to own or control it all. So now, these southern slave states see themselves as a very big disadvantage here. We're rapidly growing, expanding. More and more states are going to be joining the Union, and with Lincoln becoming president, none of them are going to be slave states if Lincoln gets what he wants. This could throw off the balance of power and put these southern slaveholding states at a severe disadvantage. After reading and analyzing the South Carolina Declaration of Secession, it becomes very obvious that the root cause of the Civil War was slavery. And what is slavery's role as the country continues to expand under manifest destiny, and how will that impact the balance of power in Washington?